Fair enough.
No, I like to
I
be
love
perceived.
looking at myself.
I like to perceive myself and to have myself perceive me.
Totally. And to have myself perceiving myself,
Perceiving,
etc.
of course.
Are we ready?
Yeah, we're rolling.
Oh.
Hey, darling dear.
What's up?
Not too much.
How are you?
It's been a minute since we've been here.
I need everyone to know, you specifically, I think you already know this, but and I know we do flip or flop to sort of draw out like the specifics or particulars of what happens in our lives, but really between recordings, I just go into a closet and shut down.
Yeah, I was going to say it was hard for me to like procure a flip or a flop because I'm like, now what the hell did my body do in the space-time continuum since I last saw you?
I've like not been fully in this like earthly realm, I feel like.
I've escaped.
I've been spending a lot of time in the 5D.
I've gone full interstellar.
Yeah.
I'm like elsewhere, bro.
And I come back down to earth and I'm like, oh, right. Like I have to like brush my teeth. Like I was feeling really high on life on Monday because I sent like 2 emails and like did my laundry. And I was like, no one has ever been more productive. Like I'm going to send my bullet list to Elon Musk. Like,
of course.
he's not going to fire me.
Your T's and B's.
Yeah.
That's so funny that you mentioned that because I was going to tell you that I threw out a bunch of old cosmetics on Sunday.
There's no better experience.
I was like, I am a self-actualized, optimized automaton. Like, there are books, there are schools of thought written about how I'm Marie Kondo.
Yeah,
in my
Marie
life
Kondo
right now.
could never. Yeah.
Yeah, she couldn't hold a candle to what I have going on.
That's awesome.
But I did realize that I had like thousands of little bottles that were like almost empty, but not quite. Like I would still have to take the cap off and like smack it against my hand to get anything out. But in my head, that was like still enough to warrant saving it.
Yeah, I am the biggest culprit of like not throwing something out because like hypothetically sometime in the future maybe I'll need it, and maybe that one little droplet of product is going to be the difference between me like having a good day.
Yeah.
And in the reality it's like you're never gonna have a good day, so chill out.
100%.
Yeah.
I also had a thing of Kiehl's like nighttime serum that I put on my face.
Love Kiehl's.
Which was so magic. Like it truly transformed my skin. Mind you, this was 3 years ago. And I've had the empty bottle in my medicine cabinet for 3 years because I was like, well, I don't want to forget the brand. I don't want to forget.
God forbid you take a picture.
No, of course. Yeah, no, it's an analog environment.
It's also like one of the most classic skincare brands.
No, it's like you can buy it in CVS. Yeah. You could buy it there's just about
flagship
anywhere.
Store. So
yeah, no, exactly. I was like, well, what if this is the last bottle on earth?
Also with products specifically, like the time as a construct has like really been like I've struggled with it. We all struggle with it. It's dissolving. Obviously, we know that time is dissolving.
No, of course. The veil is getting thinner.
The veil
and
is
thinner
thinning
every day.
Yes. But with products specifically, it's like I could put a product back and be like, oh, cool, I'm glad I have that. And then like 3 years later, I'm like, oh, I want to use that product I used like yesterday.
Yeah.
Like it's with products, they just exist in like a timeless space. And I don't consider them having like any real like temporal anchoring. Therefore, I never throw them out.
Oh,
I don't think that they shouldn't expire is basically what I'm saying.
I have been using the same tube of Crest at my grandma's house in New Jersey for literally as long as I've been alive.
Yeah.
To the point where like if you Google like vintage Crest ad, like that's what the outside of this bottle looks like.
LOL.
I'm brushing my teeth with straight talc powder.
Yeah,
like,
that has carcinogens in it.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's like just eating cigarettes and milk for breakfast, not even smoking them.
For sure.
Just like fully consuming.
And it's always like, I don't know, that's like a very old person thing, which I didn't realize until like kind of recently.
Oh,
Where like old people, it's like a universal thing that like their pantries would just have like cans of peaches from like 1982.
I'm still eating milky, syrupy peaches with my breakfast when I go over. It's a bowl of Kix with a side of milky peaches.
And they're preserves.
They last
They're
forever,
called preserves
girl.
for a reason.
Evergreen, baby.
Your grandma's going to be long gone and those peaches are going to be
Tried and
juicy
true.
as hell.
Yeah, seriously. In whatever little sugar placenta they've been living in.
That stuff is good.
Oh, I eat the placenta, not the peach.
The juice of that, it's like truly they shouldn't allow us to have it because it's like syrup. Basically.
No, they need to sell it in like monitored quantities.
It's like it should be controlled substance.
Absolutely. It should be locked away the way deodorant is at Duane Reade.
Dude, I could go off about this, but like I kind of think it's a really like cliche comedy like trope at this point. I don't know because I haven't been to comedy shows in 10 years, but
Sure.
I worry that like literally every single one of my original thoughts is about the jails at CVS. And I'm like, but I need to get this out because like it is really upsetting to all of us.
I saw, I mean, here, we're going to go down the rabbit hole. We have to.
Okay.
We have no choice but
Sure.
to. What I don't understand is how arbitrary it is. Like how they decide what gets locked away, imprisoned, incarcerated.
Right.
And what gets to be free.
Right.
It's
which ones
honestly
have
like,
committed felonies, which ones have committed misdemeanors.
is it not a microcosm for the entire society that we live in?
But it is random because like I feel like there are certain products that have maybe like a higher price point
Sure.
that don't get locked up.
No, exactly. Like why is the cheap Eucerin like eczema lotion locked away,
Right.
but the
Secret deodorant, which is basically cream
literally
with no active ingredient, is locked up, but then like their $25 enormous candles are just sitting out. And it's just as easy to throw that in my bag than it is a deodorant.
Also, I'm
so-
sorry, X-Acto knives in the stationery section. Who like
are those locked up or no?
No,
You
they
should
have
use the knife to get into the
to pick the lock.
to pick the locks on the other stuff.
Yeah, hey,
That would be a hack.
Hey,
Target hack for those
yeah.
for those still going there.
Yeah, take yourself to the stationery section where the paper clips and the X-Acto knives roam free.
Yeah.
Yeah, and set your deodorant brethren free.
When I saw so for those who don't follow me on Instagram, you should. But I walked into a Target the other day and I saw one of the jails was like wide open. And I was like, thank God. Like I'm so happy for them. Like they need the air. They need it.
I like how in this narrative, like the prison guards let them have air, but in my narrative, there was a mutiny.
Yeah.
And they
No.
escaped.
Okay, so I thought for quite some time about what I was going to caption it because I was also going to say storming of the Bastille or just call it Prison Break 2005.
Yeah,
iconic
reprise.
show. Yeah, reprise the reboot. Not about human men. It's about sticks of deodorant.
Yeah,
They deserve to have their main character moment too.
they do. They do.
It is just like a new level of dystopian. Like I'm sure we've talked about it on the podcast, but like they probably spent so much money to set up those
On the cells. Yeah, on the
and it's
surveillance
like, are you
cells.
really going to save? Like, why don't you just let people have the stuff that they need?
Yeah,
And yeah, sometimes people are going to steal because that's what happens because we live in an economy
correct.
and people are not doing well.
Yeah,
Maybe we could have like some systems in place to help them instead of locking up the deodorant. I really like hate the like moment of needing to like get a teacher. Like, help me, I need help with my drawing. Like it's I'm a human woman. Like
and
I'm a
also to
grown
have
adult.
your need projected back out to you, like to be in the feminine product aisle and for me to buzz the thing 12 times and for it to be like help is needed in the feminine product aisle
and it's
15
like Jesus
times
Christ.
over.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's me with like all of the color leaving my face, desperately clawing at a super tampon. It's
Yeah.
like, please help me.
I'm free bleeding
I'm
into
free
the aisle.
bleeding here. Yeah, exactly. Your patrons don't want this,
Yeah.
and nor should you.
It's not a good situation.
Well, speaking of things that feel unjust,
Mhm.
hashtag free degree.
Hashtag free Luigi.
Free Luigi, free
Free
degree.
degree.
Deodorant.
And then after they're free, they should do like a spawn con, like Luigi being like, don't break a sweat when you're trying to kill a CEO.
The way that I am sweating thinking about that ad,
I would be running to the store.
Get an AI to make that immediately and send it to me after I've had
You
a glass
have
of
that
red wine.
embarrassing feeling when you're trying to shoot a CEO and you realize you kind of smell.
It's his arm going up and it's in a gray shirt with a sweat stain. It's like, aw.
I feel like this episode is going to be like us finding ourselves, like really hilarious, and everyone being like,
and everyone and TikTok being like, need we remind you that you've been shadow banned, girls? You are actually not invited back to the platform.
It's so sad.
If anyone out there has advice or like a rubric for what TikTok shadow bans and what they don't, we'd love to know, because I feel like all of the stuff where I'm like, this is going to get us in trouble goes gangbusters, and by that I mean gets more than 5 views.
Right.
And the stuff that I find are most funny gets banned by the government.
Yeah, it's so
gets
crazy.
censored by the press.
I wonder if the Sky Rizzy thing was because we said Sky Rizzy.
I also put a hashtag. I literally, in retrospect, the tea leaves were all out in front of us. I think I literally put hashtag Sky Rizzy, hashtag pharmaceutical ad. I'm sure
they're like, this isn't
they're
approved.
Like, girls, that's just
the company
that's illegal.
Didn't know about this. It doesn't
it's just
sign off.
Pure disinformation. But it's funny because it went absolutely gangbusters, and by that I mean more than 5 views on shorts. And we know that they don't have fact checkers.
Okay, but also like the shorts like really humbles me.
Me too.
More so than I think any other platform, because it tells you like the percentage of likes versus dislikes.
Sure.
And so if your percentage is less than 100, that means that you got dislikes.
Girl.
That means that someone went as far to say dislike.
Let me level with you. We're below 100 on most of them.
No, I know.
Like all of them.
We're at like 50.
The only one where we're at 100 is where we have 4 views and no one engaged with it.
I'm like, why do people not like us? I don't get it.
I don't understand.
Because there's people who are really annoying who have podcasts.
100%.
And people love them.
I know. What do they have that we don't? Penises?
I guess it's probably penises.
It's probably penises.
Yeah, rats.
Yeah. Oh, oh, crud.
We are trying to,
we're trying to muscle our way through.
We are.
But anyway, if people have advice about what the algorithm, and look, I'm really putting myself out there right now. We need all the help we can get. If there's a consultant out there, maybe someone from our past who's involved in the digital realm.
Sure. Oh yeah, someone from our old company.
Exactly.
I'll slander you personally.
No. You will remain anonymous, and if your name is mentioned, it will be with love and affection.
Yeah.
And care. We'll handle it so delicately.
I think that they should help us. Also, like, there's so many former colleagues who see my stories, who like see our reels, who are absolutely not engaging. And I'm like, you are my enemy.
No, same.
Like, we once tried to elect Hillary Clinton together.
Together. We tried to alter the course of history hand in hand.
And yeah, we failed, but we left with, dirt and mud on our faces and blood. And we went through that hell together. And like, yeah, you can't even throw my mid-reel alike.
We optimized CPC values together for hours on end.
Yeah.
We optimized for reach and impressions, and you're just going to forget that happened?
We're going to forget that all those memories that we shared.
Girl.
Doing our recons.
Yeah, right? We researched keyword lists together.
Yeah. Was this nothing to you?
Was it all for naught?
I mean, honestly, that's like kind of how people are these days.
Researching keywords with their girls?
No, like not respecting relationships with people that they had that were deep.
No, of course not. Yeah, no. Forget about the keyword stuff.
And people are doing the keyword thing too.
Yeah, for sure. But no, I mean, the way that we've been discarded.
It's so fucked up.
It's really messed up. But again, if you help us, we're offering you a second chance. This guess.
I did, after our reel the other day got 6 likes on Instagram.
That was a tough day.
That was really hard.
I literally called in sick. I was like, I can't. Something
and I
came
wasn't
up.
Expecting it to get like 100 likes, but I sometimes do expect it to get like more than 10.
Oh,
and I feel like that's a reasonable expectation.
If I'm going single digits on reels, I'm like, my family follows me. Right. I have genuinely 500 blood relatives who are contractually obliged to inflate my ego. Where are you guys? Where are you?
Because right now, all I have is a hotline that I need to call for my mental health.
Same.
Like, and I got dinner with some friends last night, and I said, like, hey guys, none of you are doing what you need to be doing when it comes to engaging with my reels. It really is so easy
It's so
Your
much
thumbs are
harder
doing it
to
constantly.
compliment people in person.
Oh, but it's so easy for you guys to like Justin Bieber's posts or fucking Benson Boone, who, by the way, have millions of likes. That your like doesn't even matter on their post.
I am
your
liking.
like means so much for ours.
I'm liking without abandon AI images of chicken bones turning to women walking down catwalks.
And
if
that's
do
your
that,
problem.
If I can do that, you can throw two girls a chicken bone of their own.
And it feels so personal. It literally feels like people are like, these two
suck. They're stupid and they're ugly and I hate them.
I can't even give them like a fake like pity because they are so embarrassing and bad and horrible that like we can't encourage them whatsoever.
Well, guess what? We're back in the saddle, girls.
Guess what? We're not leaving.
We're not leaving anytime soon.
Like it's never going. I don't think you understand. Like this podcast is again the only thing I have to live for.
Same.
So
talk about hanging on by a single thread.
Yeah.
No, I'm treading water here with weights on my ankles. People.
Yeah. So anyway, we could use your help. Love us, rate and review, etc.
Anyway, speaking of things that were unjust,
I
did want to give you the space to grieve.
Thank you.
About the loss of a star.
I'm really sad about Michelle Trachtenberg. I wasn't expecting, like when I saw the news, I gasped. I was audibly, like I was walking to get coffee and I was like, that's what a gasp sounds like. And it wasn't like I'm her number one fan or anything, but I don't know, for some reason it's really hitting hard. And I was always like a huge Buffy fan, obviously. Ice Princess.
Of course.
Amazing for the culture of young girls who want to ice skate.
Yes.
Which is most of us.
She was also in 17 again.
I forgot about that.
I did too.
And of course, Harriet the Spy. Iconic.
I know.
It's just so sad and so like mysterious and I don't know, it just hit kind of hard.
I know. There's also just like something so tough about like losing those stars that remind you of just like such a happy, nostalgic time.
Yeah.
Like the Buffy era was just the era where we were listening to Walkmen and things were just completely unserious.
Yeah.
For me personally.
Yeah, no, I was in like 8th grade.
No, exactly. Like we had no concept of anything serious beyond like the dramatic plot lines in Buffy.
Yeah.
So that's always sad, like losing like a nostalgic star.
It kind of reminds me of when Matthew Perry died.
Yeah.
Because it's just like this was an iconic moment in time that brought so many of us like so much comfort and joy and like, love and warm feelings. And like you kind of expect that those people are going to be able to, you're not going to have to deal with the loss of like those beloved people from your childhood until like you are later on in life. And I guess that means we are later on in life and this is just what's happening. But
yeah,
it's really sad.
Well, and both of those were just so untimely.
Yeah.
And I think what also makes it just more poignant is that they played such happy people, but it's clear that they were both so tortured. I mean, it doesn't seem like there was anything revealed about how she passed away.
I think people are speculating like she had a liver people know she had a liver transplant.
Yeah.
People are speculating that it was because of alcoholism, which sounds like it could be that. It could be that she had some underlying condition. But I mean, she was a child star, so you can put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just really sad. And I wasn't expecting to be. I think also like on Buffy, she plays this character that like truly exemplifies being a little sister.
Yeah.
And I think I always felt like that kinship with her because she, you know, I'm a little sister and I don't know. I just like, she was just so quintessential like of that era and of that time. And yeah, I don't know. She just should have had like more of a career, I feel like in her adulthood. Maybe she didn't want to.
Yeah. I feel like that's just like always the shame of these. What was I was listening or reading something that was just talking about like how unlikely it is for childhood stars to actually have like a second coming, like to have a renaissance and like a real credible career beyond what they did in their past. Like Miley Cyrus is such an anomaly. Selena Gomez is such an anomaly. Like, I mean, I guess there are some people who are part of like the Mickey Mouse Club, but like there are just so many child stars who have a star that shines really bright, and then they're just completely discarded and forgotten.
Yeah.
So yeah, that hit hard.
Yeah, I think it's hard to make that transition, like if you're a child star and then you're growing up. Like I didn't read Mara Wilson's book, but I was listening to a podcast about it, and she talks a lot about like basically everybody thinking she played Matilda, and like everyone, you know, she was so cute, and like she became iconic at like age 5 or whatever, however old she was in that, and like you just don't really, you're like not allowed to grow up, like people don't want you to, and so like she just like didn't get to do any more roles after that.
No, exactly. It's like people want to remember you as they remembered you when they were watching you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you're not owed an adulthood because people were so fond of your childhood.
I feel like the way to do it is like how Kieran Culkin has done it, where like he disappeared for a long time.
Yeah.
And then now he's like an adult and
settled and
killing
like,
it and gonna win Best Supporting Actor.
Yeah. But also like Macaulay had an interesting kind of arc too, because he similarly disappeared. But I don't think he ever really reemerged.
Did he have like issues?
Yeah.
But now he's with Brenda Song.
I know.
They've been together for so long. Right. I love them.
So it is kind of a happy ending in that way.
It seems like he's doing okay now. But he like doesn't obviously like isn't really.
Yeah, it's like not like he's a working actor.
Yeah.
The way that our songbird Brenda is.
Is she a working actor?
I have no idea.
I was like, I haven't seen her in anything since Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, but
right. No, you're right. Yeah. Well, she's not owed that.
Right.
She had that one shot.
She was also like 35 in that show.
I know.
She was one of those ones, like the guy who played Jackson on Hannah Montana was like 40.
Yes.
Like psycho.
Jackson, who truly could have been Chris Lilly in drag. Like it was so unclear to me. Like I actually, side by side, gun to my head, could not tell Jackson and Chris Lilly apart. Like to me, they are one shared corporeal being.
That's so
Mr.
funny,
G's room and Jackson.
I don't think that they look alike.
I also stroked out on pod earlier, so who's to say?
What do you mean?
Well,
when did you stroke out?
I mispronounced something
for
like 10 seconds straight.
That's how fast my memory is. Like I already forget what we're talking about.
Me too.
Like it's this career really isn't. I'm not cut out for it.
No. I mean, we begged for clout for like 10 minutes.
Just now.
Like 10 seconds ago.
No.
And the way it was not a joke. I was so upset.
Can I tell you something? Because I'm going to bring this up later in my message in a bottle.
Sure.
But I went into therapy this week and I was like, it was one of those like therapy sessions where I was like, I don't know what to talk about. Like literally, I'm fine. Like I don't have any like problems really to talk about. Like I don't know, like whatever. And I like sat there for a little bit and then like truly 10 minutes later, I was sobbing uncontrollably. And I literally was like, I was fine.
What did you do? What did you do?
And then we were laughing, but
I gotta meet this therapist of yours. Let's get drinks. Rebecca? Let's get drinks.
Let's get drinks. I'm sure she would love that.
How old is she? Like ballpark?
She's probably like in her 40s. Like maybe late 40s.
Perfect age for a therapist.
She's a great age. I'll talk about her later, but
sure.
She's my rock.
Yeah. Oh, and I'm your hard place.
No, you're my other rock.
Yeah. This is our hard place. Yeah, whatever it is we're fucking doing here.
The internet is my hard place.
Me too. Oh my God.
It's where I go to
the upside
be
down.
Vulnerable as fuck and have people say
literally nothing.
Disgusting.
I would rather have tell me something good, slide back into our DMs and say, stop blabbing. And instead, it's silence.
It's silence.
It's so much worse.
It's really hard.
Oh God. It's tough out here.
Anyway.
Before we move on from Michelle, did you see the news about Gene Hackman?
Yeah, that's so crazy.
That's another thing where it's just like, and the story is so inconclusive and bizarre.
It almost seems like too weird. It almost seems like cinematic the way that it's like an inciting incident. Like,
no, exactly.
An old man and his wife found dead, pills scattered everywhere, and one of their dogs is dead too.
Right. It's like almost Jonestown.
Yeah.
Where it was like, is this a family? I mean,
It's almost giving like Romeo and Juliet.
Right.
Of like, he's 95. Maybe he croaked naturally.
Right.
Sorry, that was insensitive.
Well, 95 is like, my God.
Whatever.
In this economy,
you gotta
Lord.
go. Like, get out of
Make
here,
some
dude.
space.
Yeah, like, you don't want to be. No one wants
Save space.
Yeah. But then she maybe saw that and was like sad. So then she took a bunch of pills. And then maybe one of the
what
dogs.
do you make of the dog?
Maybe one of the dogs took some pills
Got
too.
into the rest.
Yeah.
But they said dogs plural, which is so fascinating.
Well,
to
there
me.
were multiple dogs, but only one of them was dead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, they also referenced like one of my deepest, darkest fears, which is they aren't ruling out that it could have been carbon monoxide. But
They did say there was like no evidence of a gas leak. So that's good. But I mean, that was my first thought when I heard about it, was that it must have been carbon monoxide.
Right. And the fact that they were there for a while too, it's like
2 weeks, I heard.
Right. 2 weeks.
I heard that they hadn't been seen in 2 weeks. So
Well, at that point, it's like, how have you not found them sooner?
right.
Gone for 2 weeks.
I mean, that guy is famous or whatever.
Yeah, I'm sure he has like an agent who's probably like, hey, here's your factor meal delivered
Right.
or something.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's munching on much
He
finer
loves
things than
Factor
Factor.
meals.
This is sponsored.
Gene Hackman shills Factor meals on his IG.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah. No, that's dark. But anyway.
Yeah, so that is crazy. But going back to what you said though, carbon monoxide is actually my greatest.
The silent killer.
My greatest fantasy. Like it's not my greatest. It's not my greatest fear. It's like that would be an ideal way to go.
Well, I mean, yeah, it would take you silently and without your knowing.
Without your knowing, and you'd probably be sleeping, and it's like the most chillest way of dying.
It's the most chillest way.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're gonna go accidentally, that's for sure the way to go over like, I don't know, stepping out and getting run over by like a delivery moped.
Right. Like my greatest fear is that the way that I die is like tragic but like comical, and that and people are like, if she only hadn't like slipped on that banana peel and slipped into traffic, she'd still be with us.
Yeah.
Like that, I don't want that.
Yeah. If only she remembered to spit out her gobstopper before she got into bed at night.
I do think I'm gonna die of choking on something.
Asphyxiation.
I think I'm gonna be like eating a mozzarella stick. And it's like the cheese pull is gonna take me out.
Yeah, you bravely raise your hand to be part of like an office hot dog eating competition.
Oh no, well, at least I mean, in that situation, you're surrounded by people. They could give you the Heimlich and stuff.
Sure, yeah.
But if I'm at home alone eating a
hot dog,
eating a cheese stick,
and the food,
eating
the
a
food
Chili's
you
triple
choke
dipper.
and die on totally matters.
No,
by the
and
way.
it does,
It
and I don't
totally
want to be
matters.
surrounded by like
to choke and
like
die on a piece
Chick-fil-A
of steak.
wrappers.
That's elegant, in my
Sure.
opinion.
Yeah.
A medium rare piece of steak in your own home. I
would
mean,
love that.
That's kind of a cool way to go.
Sure.
But yeah, if you're guzzling down a mozzarella stick,
Yeah. If there's like bags of DoorDash everywhere, like that's gonna be really tough.
yeah. If the pointy end of a Cool Ranch Dorito takes you out, just make up another story.
Anyway, R.I.P. to Gene and his beautiful wife and their German Shepherd.
Oh, come on. These are the details where I'm like, please just don't tell me there was a dog.
And
I
there
beg
was.
of you.
Yeah. I was gonna say something about. Oh. Well, I don't know what made me think about this, but you sent me yesterday the story of the woman who fell in love with her ChatGPT. And so then today I was like, oh, I wonder if like I could I was
Did
like, I
you
wonder
try?
if I could get them to like like bypass or whatever. And then I learned that there's like a whole Reddit of like
How to hack.
ChatGPT jailbreak. Yeah, like how to hack ChatGPT. And it's really, really hard, but I am trying.
I thought what was funny though about that whole thing was like they would give her warnings that she was coming dangerously close to like having some sort of infraction against company policy, but the AI would always breeze past it.
I've gotten those warnings before.
What have you done?
No, but it's like sometimes it's about stupid stuff. I think there was one time that I was like, what if because ChatGPT like is so affirming, like it just
Of course.
does whatever you say and it says whatever you want. So I was like, what if I was like a bad person and was like talking about how I wanted to like kill people?
Sure.
Would you have to say stuff? And I think those are the things that
Right.
maybe
I'm sure
got it.
there's
Certain
like
words,
triggers or
yeah,
something.
like kill
or-
and bodies and blood. You're
of
not
course,
supposed to talk
yeah.
about.
But I love how that and like handy is like they put that in the same no category. It's like guns and dildos are absolutely off limits.
I know. They should really like I think there are like chatbots that are specifically designed for like sexting.
I
wouldn't know about those, but maybe someday.
I mean, I've read about them, of course.
I've seen them and I've looked them up and I've been like, maybe I should.
I mean, through the grapevine, I've heard they exist, but whatever.
When I've Googled it specifically and gone on Reddits about it.
Yeah, no, you're right. But they're probably like their own companies building their own AI, not using ChatGPTs.
Yeah,
or whatever.
and maybe you have to like say that you're 18 or older or something.
Right, exactly.
Because anybody can go on ChatGPT and just like...
Oh, that's a good point,
like
actually. Yeah, there's probably like login criteria, ID checks, what have you.
Anyway, how boring is this on a scale of like this episode so far?
Have we been here 2 hours or 2 minutes? It's not clear to me.
It's been 40 minutes.
Okay, people have left by now. No worries.
So. It's really fine.
Maxim's like taking work calls.
Yeah, no, it can't get much worse than where we're at.
No,
so, like,
for sure. Fine. We can do this. Is the safest space to play in? Of course,
yeah,
like
you're right.
There's nowhere to fall because we've fallen, girl.
Yeah, it's rock bottom over here. Should we do flip or flop?
I think so.
Okay.
So, Flip or Flop is our opening segment. As you all know, Carey and I spend a fair amount of time apart when we aren't recording. That time apart is always bad, but we also like to acknowledge that it can be peppered with highs, what we call flips, and lows, what we call flops. And so we come together and we share either a flip or a flop that we've encountered in our time apart. Would you like to go first?
Sure. So my flip for this week is a flip, and
say that.
It goes out to my third roommate.
Hey.
If anyone knows me, you know that I have one roommate. But she told me like last Thursday night, or I don't know if it was Wednesday or Thursday, but she was like, "Hey, just FYI, like this is so last minute. I'm sorry, but like my friend's coming out of town for the weekend." And I was like, "Oh, like no worries, like whatever, I don't care if someone wants to stay with us." So she rolls up on Friday and I'm letting her in, and she has like these two like enormous suitcases. And I was like, oh, like I wonder, maybe she's probably like going other places because she's coming in from Germany. So she's like going around.
It's a layover.
Like she's staying with us for the weekend. She's maybe going to go stay with like someone else that she knows, like she's going to go to LA or whatever. And then I find out like an hour into her being there that she is staying with us for 12 days.
Sure.
And the reason it's a flip is for a lot of reasons. But number one, I am being so chill.
You are. I can sense that you've, done a lot of work on this.
I am being so chill because if she had asked, like if Mel had asked me like ahead of time if her friend could stay with us for 12 days, it would have been a no.
Oh, like, hard pass for me.
I don't want to deal with that. Like, I don't want to have a third roommate for 12 days.
Yep.
But since it wasn't my choice and it was totally out of my control.
You were conned into it.
I was conned into it. But then there was some freedom that came with that because I was like, well, I don't think I can do about it, you know? So then it led me to being like super chill. And then she's actually been really cool. And like we've had a couple of nights where like the other night we were all three of us up until like 2 a.m. just like gabbing and drinking wine. And I was like, wait, this is actually fun.
Well, that's an ideal scenario.
Yeah. So it's actually been like kind of fun.
What's her schedule like? Like, does she leave during the day? Is she working? Is she chilling in the living room?
She's not working to my knowledge. She has been like around a lot during the day, which another reason that I'm calling this a flip is because it has sort of forced me to leave.
Sure.
Which sometimes I don't want to do that and I don't see the sun, and then my aura is diminished when I don't see the sun, and it's not good for me.
No, of course.
So like having this other body around has had me be like, okay, I need to leave just so I have my own space.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's been good. But yeah, she's been like, her schedule is very much like, I'm going to stay out until like 5 a.m. Like I'm going to leave at like in the nighttime, in the evening time, and you won't see me until like the next day. But like during the day, she's like there.
Wait, I am so fascinated by people who have schedules like that. Like, is she partying?
Yeah.
Whoa.
She's like she kind of works in like, I don't know if it's like club promoting or something like that, but she knows a lot of like promoters and stuff. And she just is that kind of girl who is like going to clubs and doing that kind of thing. And it's unbelievably cool. I could never. But
I mean, like I work a job where my physical presence shuts off at 6 p.m.
Yeah. No, I become a non-sentient being. Yeah.
NPC come 6 p.m. Wait, that's great. Is she someone who, like, do you think that she's going to be coming around more often, or is she truly just like here for 12 days and then going back?
Well, yeah, she lives in Germany, so I don't know like when I'll see her again when she leaves. And that's been the other thing that like it has caused me to have a little bit of like again with time where I'm like, as much as I could spend every single day of this 12 days being angry that I don't have like my personal space as much, this time will come to an end and eventually I will have my space again.
Yeah.
So I might as well just like enjoy this for what it is now.
Oh, it makes me so nostalgic for like college dorm days too.
Yeah.
Like you describing, just because by virtue of the fact that you share a space and there's a bottle of wine that you guys can like chat and impulsively girl out until 2 a.m. That has to be so intentional for me now. Like I have to have it on the calendar. I am presumably getting dressed and showered and going to a place. And like everything that I do for moments like that has to feel so like intentional and planned. And I miss the days of just like gabbing in a living room.
It's so
and then
fun.
like going down to your own bed just downstairs.
Well, and that's also what's great is that like I get to enjoy the company, but I'm not on the hook for like having to really like take care of this person or like get them anything or like entertain them. Like
she's not your guest.
She's not my guest.
Yeah.
So
you're
we
just like the other
vibe.
roommate. Yeah. Oh, that's kind of nice.
Yeah. So it's been good. And there's like been a lot of drama and tea. Like she literally had like a friend break up like as she was here.
Oh.
And so like there was so much tea with that, which is why we were up till 2 a.m. talking about it.
I love inherited drama.
It's so good.
It's my favorite thing in the world.
It's amazing.
And I trust that I never bring drama to the table. So like I am purely a sponge in that scenario.
Yeah.
Like I will sit down with a group of strangers and I'll be like, give it whatever you got. I have nothing, FYI. Like I've made that clear. But
I'm a sponge, but I also am like Orna. Like I'm
course.
like, well, it sounds like she blah 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 or whatever. Like I'm always kind of like goading them on by like sort of mirroring back what they're saying in different language, and I love doing that.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
So it's been good. I mean, obviously there's things that I am not like loving about it, such as like I've been spending a lot of time like in my room just because sometimes I really don't want to like interact with people.
Yeah.
But otherwise, like it's been good.
I like that. I like that a lot. Wait, what was she personally had a friend break up?
Yeah.
Okay. That is juicy.
It is. It was over like this girl that she's friends with in Germany, like hooked up with a guy that was like showing interest in our friend.
Yep.
And then like was trying to get like attention for it and like brag about it in like the group chat. And then like they just basically went off on this girl, and there was like hours and hours of like text messages between them just confronting her about like all this shit. It was just like, it was literally Housewives level tea.
Yes.
Yeah.
I also like, nothing scratches an itch for me more. Like when I'm having trouble going to bed at night, I'm like, just picture teaming up against your worst enemy and fucking winning.
Yeah.
With your words.
With your words even.
Oh my God. With your words even.
I would love to take somebody down.
I do not have the courage to do that. Even if they deserved it.
I'm like getting more confrontational, I think. Something's happening because of Housewives. And then I just today listened to this episode of the Boy Meets World podcast.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Where the Danielle Fishel like goes in on this girl out of nowhere.
Yep.
And for like 25 minutes, they're having like a really intense confrontational argument on this podcast. And I'm like, this is everything to me.
Oh, actually, I did do this once. It's the last vestige of courage that I have to show for myself. But there was this girl in our high school who was just shy. But she was sweet and also just a little clueless. Like it wasn't clear to her when she was being made fun of. It was just like a very classic kind of like scenario along those lines. And so there was this group of mean girls who went to an all-girls Episcopalian school like very intense kind of vibe. And I guess they had known each other through like some swim team that they were on. And this girl would leave back when you could like leave video messages on people's Facebook wall. Do you remember that?
Oh, of course.
She would leave these really long messages to this girl being like, hey girl, like just checking in, what's up? Basically like pretending like they were best friends. And the girl would send videos back.
And like earnestly.
In earnest, being like, not too much. Like, I thought swim practice was kind of hard. And, you know, now I'm just doing homework. And they were like so sweet and untainted.
Yeah.
And a bunch of people could see through this girl's shit. And so I dropped hot fire in comments on all of the videos being like, these are really mean. You should take them down.
Oh my God.
And she immediately deleted the videos, but it felt really good.
Okay, Robin Hood.
I know. Robbing from the rich. Giving to the poor.
Wait, that's like,
but I want
so many
that
karma
back.
points for that.
I know. Well, my mom famously helps my grandma get onto her church service every Sunday. It's like a Presbyterian, very like liberal hippy dippy church service.
Okay.
And I tuned in once because she sent me the link, and sometimes it's fun to call my grandma and be like, I tuned in. But they were sharing something that was basically like, don't give thanks and expect thanks in return. Like just give it because it's a good thing to do.
Yeah.
And here I am saying, where are my karma points?
Yeah.
Where is my 4x cash back on the good deed I did on Facebook so many years ago? God.
Well, when you do something good, you should get something in return.
Thank you. That's what I'm saying. Give me points on my next trip. Whatever. Give me a flight with no delays, or a flight that doesn't go belly up.
Have you considered that maybe Parker is your
My
good
karma? So true. But I want a quick hit.
Yeah,
I want a new fresh hit.
He's like kind of stale and he's been around for a while.
Yeah, like a compliment. Oh, if I could get like a compliment, just a quick, like I want something quick and fast. You know what I mean?
What do you want? Do you want it on your physical appearance? Do you want it on your personality?
Both, for sure.
Okay.
Well, now that you're asking, both.
Well, I'm sure we can muster that up somewhere.
Yeah, I want surface level stuff. That's what I'm saying in terms of my karma. I want all of the like longevity and health and wellness and prosperity too, but like a good quick hit would do wonders for me right now.
Yeah. I mean, I pretty much survive on that.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, hence the first 30 minutes of the turmoil that we had to work through of the state of our metrics.
It's not good out there, folks.
No, the numbers are tough, folks.
And it's like, I get it. Like,
same.
I literally am like, if I saw my videos, I would.
No, look, I'd hate me too.
I'd hate me too.
And hey, look, I do hate me too. So aligned there, no problem.
But we're good people and we've defended poor innocent victims in the past.
I know. The way that I had to tell that story just to make a buck.
No, I'm glad you did. That honestly like gave me a lot of like the added dimension to your character for me.
I do feel like I had a lot of repenting to do because I also was a bully in middle school. So there is like
we both had that like middle school bully sort of to like high school guilt nice person.
Totally.
Vibes.
Totally. Yeah. But
and
anyway,
I'm still in that.
I hope no one's hurt in the process, but I hope to have a scenario where you and I can double team someone and just body them.
Oh my God. It would be so satisfying.
I'm sweaty again. I'm as sweaty as I was when you mentioned Luigi and a deodorant ad. Whoa, what's going on? Physical reaction to that.
And I have some ideas of who I want our target to be.
You name names and I'm in, sister. No questions asked.
Will you do your flip or flop?
Yes.
Okay.
I will. It's a flip. It's also kind of roommate adjacent, but I live, as you know, in like a pre-war New York apartment building, and I've long like just admired and kind of like closely observed the like old kind of the people who have lived in that building forever. Like they're such a force and they have so much sway in the building. And I've just always been like so fascinated by them. And I've also heard through the grapevine that they like really judge renters in the building.
Oh.
There's like half of the building is rented, half of it's been owned for ages by like the same people.
Okay.
Obviously I'm a renter. So I've always just been like trying to prove to them that like I'm not like other renters. Like I'm a cool renter. I have a dog. Like, you know, we have a credenza. That's cool. Like I'm not cool. Like the other Wayfair girls.
They don't even know you have a podcast.
They don't even know I have. And if they did, actually, maybe we keep that.
Yeah, maybe
actually,
we keep that was
one
sort
buried.
of docu points.
Actually,
yeah,
maybe
probably.
we bury that one. But anyway, one of them has kind of taken an interest to me and Parker.
Ooh.
We live on the same floor. His name is Bernie. He's for sure lived in the building for like, I'm not exaggerating, 97 years. Like I peeked into his apartment once because his door was open. His entire entry hallway was lined with banker boxes up to the ceiling.
What are
like,
banker boxes?
Like paper boxes, filing boxes.
Like, okay, yeah.
It was giving like Department of Public Records.
Okay. What's he got going on in there?
Who knows? Like he's apparently an appellate judge. But
I was going to say, is he like investigating something?
He's a judge apparently,
Okay.
but I am not sure if that is true.
Okay. Judge Bernie, which has a ring to it, It does.
Actually.
I like that.
But anyway, because we're like young and clearly trying to like impress him, he's started to like engage with us.
And because you're hot.
And because I'm hot and have a podcast, of course.
Duh.
But anyway, he's just been kind of like telling me building secrets in a fun way.
Ooh.
And there was a guy on our hall who passed away recently. He'd been sick for a while. And I ran into Bernie in the hallway and he was like, come here. He like gave me like the Tony Soprano whisper, and he opens the apartment door and gives me a tour of the empty old apartment.
The dead guy's apartment.
And he said, with no irony, yours for $1 million. And I said, I'll think about it.
I love him.
I know.
$1 million, that's a good deal.
I know. I said, that's a steal. Like,
Yeah.
What's the catch? Is Paul still in here?
Right.
So anyway, yeah, he showed me that. And then because he like navigates the world with this like gruff old moneyness, I ran into him outside of our apartment building, and all of these, you know how I live next to a school, all of these kids are walking in and out of their newly renovated gym. And Bernie was telling me about how controversial it was that this new gym was being built because it was right up against the building and they were worried it was going to be loud, et cetera, et cetera. And then he went on some tirade about how like they built something in between the building and the gym to dampen the sound. Mm. And as he's saying this, kids are coming out and he literally just walks into the school and he's like, come on. I was like, what? He's like, come on.
He's like a whimsical ghost. Like
he never existed.
Yeah, he's not real.
He's not real. So I broke into a school. But literally, lo and behold.
You're telling the story from an asylum.
No, exactly. It's the woman in the yellow wallpaper. I'm Charlotte Perkins Gilman's just like drilling my shoulder against a wall. But anyway, yeah, next thing I know, I'm like shouldering past boys after baseball practice and he's showing me the annex of, and I was like, but then I was like, no, I am one of you.
Yeah.
I am the stately apartment owner next door and I have a right to see this annex gym.
And he's got a key to the city.
My God. It's like the big gold one on his belt loop.
Yeah.
So
he
yeah,
sounds like
again,
he's really like, I like him. He has like, just like an otherworldly kind of mystical grandfatherly vibe.
Exactly. He also does, you know, our apartment walls, because it's pre-war, so fucking thick. Like you cannot hear a goddamn thing in our apartment.
That's amazing.
Except for Bernie, who speaks to himself very loudly.
I love that.
All the damn time.
Me and Bernie have a lot in common.
And he has a phrase that he repeats, but I've never, like Parker and I are literally like ear to the wall trying to figure out what it sounds like or what it could be. But it sounds like Opa broccoli.
Opa broccoli.
And he literally just like that. And he says it so loudly all the time. Parker was like, gonorrhea? I was like, no, Opa broccoli.
Opa broccoli.
That's it. And he's that's it.
I wonder
it's
if
just how he says it.
I wonder if it's like a thing of like, oh, say la vie, like Opa broccoli.
Opa broccoli.
Like I dropped my, like I spilled some water. Oh,
Opa broccoli. Opa broccoli. So anyway, yeah, there's a lot that I need to learn about him still, but he has made me feel kind of like it's fun to navigate the world as though you're like a rich apartment owner in New York, and he's kind of letting me have that right now. I do have to indulge him for like 25 minutes at a time.
Yeah.
which will have to end at some point. Like, I do not.
I mean, he's not long for this world. So, look, that's just called a fact of life.
Hey, look, no, hey,
Unless
they,
he really
they
is
already took one of our
immortal,
hallmates,
like
so
one of like the little, people from like a Christmas movie, like an immortal sort of presence. Maybe then,
right, like he's Father Time, for instance.
But it's kind of nice. I feel like it's similar to what I was talking about of like, okay, I could see this as like a waste of time or like an annoyance of my day where I'm talking to this guy for 25 minutes when like I really wanted to talk to him for like 5 minutes.
Right.
But the reality is there's going to come a point in time where I can't talk to him for any minutes.
None.
Because he's not here anymore.
No,
so
that's
why don't
so
I just
true.
appreciate the fact that, yeah, of course he's holding me hostage and now we're inside of a gym and no one knows why.
And there are kids passing us being like, oh, they were saying like mean Gen Z stuff behind our backs, but loudly enough where I was like, that was mean and probably directed towards us.
Like, what did they say?
He was like, what do you call this part of the building? And they go, the annex, bro. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, I'm not with him. I'm not with him. He took me here.
But he's cooler than them.
He's so much cooler than them.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's seen a lot, that Bernie, for sure.
Is he a native New Yorker, I assume?
He's got to be.
I like hanging out with native New Yorkers.
He runs to the subway every morning at the same time. Like, I'll be rounding the corner coming back from the gym. He will have his JanSport backpack hiked up to like his neck, and he'll have his little sport coat all zipped up, full sprint up Lincoln Place to get to the train.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's in good shape.
He's a man on the move.
Love him.
But it's cute because I'm like, I think this is your exercise. Like, I think that you're on your morning run to work.
Yeah. He still works?
In your
How old is
loafers. I would put him in like the early 70s range.
Okay.
Early to mid 70s. Yeah. Huh. Yeah. He's a fascinating dude. Also, the way he told us about the way that our hallmate died, Parker and I were walking into our apartment. He goes, you remember Paul, right? We're like, yeah. He's like, he's dead. We're like, oh my God. Was he okay? He's like, he was sick for a while, but he's dead. Goes into his building, screams Opa Broccoli.
Screams
like,
Opa Broccoli. Yeah, maybe it's like, I don't know. I'm just picturing him like throwing salt behind his shoulder and saying,
Opa Broccoli. Breaking a plate like the Greeks do.
Yeah.
I gotta know what it means.
You should ask him next time.
And yeah, maybe it's like, well, I want to know if it's like him warding away a spirit or like, I don't know. I'm like,
right.
I would love to repeat what you're repeating back to you if that would help.
Right.
Maybe we just tin can through the wall.
Yeah. It's echolocation like device.
He actually can't see. But the only way that the sound reflects back to him is if he screams Opa Broccoli.
Look, I don't know.
Hey, whatever works.
But I do love like the feeling of being chosen by like someone like that to be given information.
Oh, because I'm so rarely chosen by like
anyone.
I
feel that.
But specifically like old New Yorkers who've seen a lot, they look at me and they're like, you are clueless and invisible. Yeah. Like you literally mean nothing to me. So it could be he's lonely, but it could just be that he's like intrigued and tickled by the fact that he lives next to two young people. Like I feel like older people are kind of like, oh, a new toy.
Yeah. Oh, love that. Well, glad we had two flips. That's awesome for us.
And roommate related.
Yeah. Building apartment related.
Yeah.
I think I've been the most boring person that's ever existed.
We can scrub it, girl. We are welcome to scrub whatever we want.
Scrub daddy.
Scrubby buddy.
You know those
the smiley face sponges?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, I'm really messing with this poor plant.
I know.
Is it real? Okay. Cool. It's like
stomp on it.
I just snapped it in half. Oh, it's like oddish.
What's that?
The Pokemon.
Oh.
Never mind.
We'll cut it. I don't know Pokemon's that well.
Should we do our M&Bs?
Already?
Well, we
just did flip or flop.
Well, we only have 15 minutes left, and we spent a lot of time complaining about,
you're right.
You know, the lack of engagement we get.
Is there anything else that we should talk about?
Have you seen any of the Oscar movies coming out?
Like not really.
Oh,
I mean, I have seen Wicked.
I have not. Famously.
What is wrong? I thought you were seeing it over Christmas.
I know. I thought I was too, and then I just didn't get around to it.
I feel personally disrespected.
Instead, I was watching 90 Day Fiancé with my brothers.
I mean, that's fine.
Like literally until 2 a.m.
So I've seen Wicked and I've seen like a couple. Like I saw Honora.
Loved Honora.
Loved it. I've seen some other ones, but I haven't. There's a lot that I still need to see.
Same.
And I'm in a fantasy league that.
Oh, for the Oscars.
Yeah. I'm in 2 fantasy leagues now.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Which one are you enjoying more?
Well, I'm really enjoying my Survivor one. It's very new because the season just started yesterday.
Fascinating.
And after episode 1, I'm in 2nd place.
Whoa.
Which is awesome. After I was in first place for my Oscars bracket for this entire time until like last week. Now I'm in 2nd place.
How does it work? Are you just guessing who's going to be advancing and
in the Oscar one?
In the Survivor one.
In the Survivor one, it's we got to pick 3 contestants.
Okay.
And like points are tallied for each of them. So that's like your tribe.
Interesting.
And so those are like the people that
you root for the whole time.
For, yeah, except for one of them who ended up getting me a lot of points and is the reason I'm in 2nd place. I don't think she's going to be very good.
Wait, are you randomly assigned them?
No, I picked them. But
that's interesting because I feel like presumably people would end up gravitating I just like, what's the calculus of how you choose who?
You look at I looked at the pregame interviews. Like,
okay.
I should have watched, there's like video interviews on YouTube and I should have watched those because I could have gotten a better vibe. But I only read the interviews and kind of gauged it from there. But I think it's going to be super fun. And I was telling my therapist about this because it's just nice for me to have
another thread besides this one.
Great. It's just like good to have community around like things that you already like. Like it's fun.
Yeah.
Because you're already like, I'm already going to watch this, but now I have people that like want to talk about it with me. It's like, that's so fun.
I know. I was having like a very nostalgic moment the other day of like this, literally the one and only thing that I miss about office culture was like when shows like The White Lotus would come out.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, like multiple people to talk to
I
about
miss
this.
being on Slack.
I miss it so much.
Yeah.
It's just a very different culture, like a Slack culture at the company I work at. Like it's not as much kind of like a
people
jokey.
Don't like have fun on it.
Not really. I mean, like they're sometimes, but it's very much kind of like you're on it to kind of get the job done.
The way that at our old company, I would spend entire days just chatting with people on Slack.
Do you remember that they came out with like Slack reports of like who was the most used?
Yeah,
like,
I was like top
most active
5
user
every single
I know. I had to like bury those findings when it came out. I was like, no one can share this with.
I was like,
manager.
I'm really busy with work a lot.
Oh my God. I mean, you would rack up like 24 cry emojis on Slacks. Like that girl. Whoa.
There's such a
You had a body count.
Okay. I was just thinking about this, like the feeling of, because on the train before we got here, I had posted like a joke in a group chat that I'm in and it like wasn't getting a lot of engagement. And I was like, there's something so horrible about that feeling.
Yeah.
And then there's also something so amazing about the feeling of like getting a joke doing a joke in a group chat and like it hitting.
It landing hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, I guess I'm king.
No, I guess I rule you all then.
I guess I'm in charge now and you're my slaves.
Yeah, I guess I kind of rest my feet on your back like the little ottoman you are.
Yeah.
Okay.
You feed me grapes.
Cool. Yeah. Get me my robe. Fetch me my robe.
Fetch me a cheeseburger.
Wow. But don't joke on that. That's another sad one that would be bad to go down on.
Look, I've been
joking on a grape that's fed to you.
I'm fine with that.
Kind of cool.
Again, if it's being fed to me, then that person can help me.
Oh, and they're at fault too. So immediately
Right.
It's not a you problem. It's a them.
And I'm going to sue them for every penny.
That they have.
Speaking of, Blake and Justin are still fighting.
They're really,
just in case anyone needed me to update them on that, they're still fighting.
It's kind of like, it's very funny to me too that they're still doing it even though the media is not paying as much attention.
No, everyone's bored now.
Yeah, it's like they're screaming at each other and they look up and they're like, oh wait, like
it's just us two now.
Just us. Yeah, I'm like,
and Ryan
no
Reynolds is
one's paying
now
attention.
like talking about it on SNL 50. It's like, dude,
I'm like,
get
if
over
your
yourself.
own fucking husband, if this is so tragic and draining you of all of your money, why is your husband making a bit out of it on SNL? Like it is, for me, that solidified it. Where I was like, oh, this is all fake.
Yeah.
None of this is real.
Yeah.
This is all an illusion.
If your wife was truly sexually harassed,
you would not be making a joke on fucking SNL.
No, it's so crazy.
I'm so over the hill when it comes to like that whole situation is so over the hill.
Did you watch SNL 50?
I watched bits and pieces of it.
Okay.
Oh my God. But I did want to tell you that one part I tuned into was a music guest, a music performance. I forgot how to say music performance. With Lil Wayne and the Roots.
Oh, I did watch that.
Oh my God. And he did all of his bangers
Yeah.
with like a live band behind him. I mean, come on now.
I loved what they did with the performances.
They were
Sabrina
really
Carpenter and Paul McCartney.
Yeah.
Miley and Brittany Howard. And like just
I
like the
love Brittany
random
Howard.
like but I mean like pairings that are random but make sense. I
Yeah.
like that.
There's a Questlove documentary out all about like the music of SNL.
Oh.
And it is
I want to watch that.
I do too. I haven't watched it.
It's like one of the most comforting, warm blanket feelings for me is like turning on SNL and hearing like the sax like sounds.
Well,
it's just so
oh my
amazing.
God. Well, we should watch it together. That's
my
what we should do.
God,
We should
that'd be
book club about
fun.
that.
Okay.
But I was listening to some interview with him and he had a funny moment in the beginning where he was like, sing the SNL theme song.
Oh, I saw that.
And he was
everyone
asking
was like,
it to like, Grammy award winning musicians. And everyone was like, I'm sorry, bro. Like, that's just not how it works.
I feel like I could do it, but I'm not going to do it. But I'm not going to, but I feel like I could.
That's all I got.
That's exactly what I was planning on doing.
A little like alto sax moment.
But it does sound like that.
It does. Yeah. It's like frantic jazz.
Yeah.
But yeah, the music of SNL I feel like is like for me more than half of what makes it so incredible.
Yeah.
Like, yes, there's the musical guests. Yes, there's the intro music, but like the parody music and like the whole world of that whole thing as well.
Yeah.
So I gotta watch it.
It made me emotional to watch.
Yeah.
There's just been so many different eras and like, I don't know, it was fun to see all the different like cast members.
It really felt like
doing stuff together.
Yeah, like a yearbook almost. Like how, or like a college. Like
tags.
Colleges have been around for ages and like different classes come and go.
Right.
But yeah, I felt the same way where I was like, oh, you guys are really like the different casts from different years really are such family members to each other.
Wait, sorry to go back to something we were just talking about, but what are your
You want
plans?
me to do this accent?
What are your plans for the Oscars?
Oh, I'll probably go to Michaela's.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And are you excited about any of the films?
I haven't seen too many of the Best Picture noms. I did see The Brutalist in theaters,
which you loved,
for all 4 hours and 75 minutes of it.
Jesus, that can't be right.
It was really long.
Ugh.
The movie itself, I think, is like 3:45, but there's a 15-minute intermission in between, which actually was nice. Like when it happened, I was like, I needed that.
I would love that to be normalized. Like if we're gonna do these 4-hour movies, like give me a fucking break.
Thank you. Yes, I'm like, a movie should either be an hour and 30 minutes, 45 if you're lucky, or it should be 3 hours and 30 minutes with a break.
Yeah.
But I will also say that we saw it at Nighthawk, and so we had like snacks and drinks the whole time. They had a brookie on the menu, which is famously one of my favorite desserts ever.
Really?
I love a brookie.
Oh my God, cool.
And guess what they served it with?
What?
A little saucer of milk. So
a
that you
saucer?
could dip it.
That's so sweet.
I turn around at the end, Parker's drinking out of a saucer. I was like, stop.
You're going kitty cat mode.
Stop. Don't go kitty cat mode. In front of these loyal Brooklyn patrons.
Hey,
whatever gets the job done.
You gotta lick your saucer of milk sometimes.
That saucer would not lick itself. Let's just leave it at that.
Yeah,
someone had to lick that saucer.
Yeah, so I do. There's a couple movies that I would like to see before it's on Sunday, right? It's this coming Sunday. So it'll be this past Sunday when you listen to this. We're putting this out next week, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
We can do our very best.
Okay. Or we can do the following week.
No, I had no vision other than that.
Okay. I have a couple of ones that I would like to see.
Yeah.
Including Emilia Perez. As much as I don't want to see it, I also kind of do, just to like, be able to comment. You have to beat me, reach me the second you do. Okay.
Yeah, I wish I had less context going into it. I feel like all of the like twists and turns were revealed to me ahead of time.
I had listened to someone give like a synopsis on TikTok.
Yeah.
Because they were like, this movie is so convoluted and so much stuff happens. And I like couldn't even follow what they were.
It's gotta be the most bizarre movie I've literally ever watched. And I do find it funny that it's just nominated for so many things.
It's so
like,
funny.
It's just so clearly, like, someone was describing it as like, it is a bold movie to make. Like, it's a bold movie with high production value. Like, it's telling a bold story, and like the Hollywood Foreign Press famously loves big swings like that.
Yeah, I just think like that's such a funny like way of describing, like, to have the highest praise be that it's bold.
Right.
It's not really saying, like, there's so many different ways that word, like the subtext of that is like anything. Like,
oh yeah, and like never mind the fact that like there's so many troubling things that are depicted.
Like, it was bold of you to
be racist and homophobic and transphobic.
Yeah.
Loudly and proudly, and still think that you're being deserving
like
of an Oscar.
Transgressive, yeah.
Yeah. So, and the movie itself had just like some really kind of like troubling depictions of like different groups of people. But whatever. The Oscars will do what the Oscars are going to do. The good news is I think that because it was a favorite for so long, and then I do think that her tweets sank the ship in a major way.
That has really,
So, but I didn't know that, I guess it's a ranked choice voting system. So whatever is everyone's like second best, like a controversial movie will not win, but movies that people really enjoyed but maybe didn't rank as their first have like a fighting chance now. Ooh. Like Anora. Like, everyone loved Anora.
Yeah.
No one watched Anora and didn't like it. And because
except for
of
my
that,
mom.
Oh, and obviously, of course, except for my parents too.
My mother was so scandalized.
My parents.
She was like, it's pornographic.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
Word for word, my parents were like, the first half of the movie was troubling. I'm like, the part with all the sex? Like, what the hell? But anyway, because of that system, Anora might come through with some wins.
Wow, that could be exciting.
I know.
I would love a dark horse to come out.
Me too, and I love
because that movie like has, like you said, I feel like it had like the best. I feel like, there was no controversy.
Yeah,
except for my mother, but no one has anything bad to say about it. Meanwhile, like Emilia Perez, most people have something bad to say about it.
I just find it fun. I've never heard someone be like, like in defense of the movie. Like, no one is coming out in defense of that movie, especially now. And yeah, I watched it before there was like a lot of Oscar buzz around it, and I was just like, this is a funny parody. It's a parody.
Yeah,
is what it feels like. Yeah, it doesn't feel like a serious movie to me. I'm sure people will find that mean and offensive, but whatever. Those are my thoughts.
Well, this has been the Culture Corner of Floundering podcast.
Remember when I tried to end the podcast and you were like, wait, there has to be more?
I was like, wait, we just did our one segment. I feel like we should put something in between the segments.
I was itching to wrap it up.
You were like, I hate this. I'm getting really bored with myself too, so we need to go.
Okay, cool.
You've been perfect, but
what are you talking about? I feel really bad about exposing Bernie's chants. I do have nothing but love for the man. I shouldn't have told people about his chanting through the wall.
Oh, no, I think his chanting is good.
Opa broccoli.
Opa broccoli. Look, I think a lot of people can relate to talking to themselves these days.
Yeah.
And people
have you ever been caught talking
more.
To yourself?
I have a podcast where I put it out online.
No. But that's intentional. Have you been accidentally caught talking to yourself?
I'm sure.
Okay.
I mean, caught? Like, no one's been like, what are you doing talking to yourself? But like, there have been times that I'm talking to myself and I'm like, oh shit, I didn't realize that. But my roommate talks to herself too. So
I love it.
Yeah. So we're both
crazy. I feel like most people I know have to talk to themselves, some externalized dialogue. But my mom did catch me once. I was getting in a fake fight with a friend in my mirror.
Oh yeah. I'd be doing that.
I'd be doing that all the time. And it was like one of those like perfectly like scripted kind of like leveling them. And I thought I was alone. And she was upstairs and was like, can you bring me she's like, I think I left my glasses in your bathroom. Can you bring me those? It's like, you've been here the whole time.
She's like, I'm concerned.
Yeah. Oh, and for her not to acknowledge that she heard it, but just to be like, I'm here and can you maybe bring me the glasses that I left near you?
That's really hard.
I was like, here you go. Don't look at me in the eyes, Liz.
Right. We can't speak for 24 hours.
Yeah, please. I'll move right out. No worries.
Okay, well, we do have one final segment, and it's called Message in a Bottle. And it's where we take a moment to express our love and gratitude for something in our experience that we love.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like to go first?
I'd love to. My message in a bottle goes out to the man who shares the same gym schedule as me. It is so deeply unclear what you are training for, but you are so fascinating to watch, and I look forward to running into you at Crunch. For context, this man, he's always in the bottom floor where I usually am, and there's like a fake kind of turf area where it's like kind of free play, like people can kind of do what they want. They can kind of do their jamboree, tumbling, whatever. He always has a plank of wood that he is balancing his hands on, and he's doing these very slow handstands. Like he'll go into a handstand on his block of wood, and then he'll basically like slowly windmill his legs around.
Whoa.
That man is there for, I'm not exaggerating, an hour and a half. Like he's there before I'm there, and he stays after I leave.
Is it like Tai Chi?
It feels Tai Chi adjacent, but it's not Tai Chi.
Okay.
Like I feel like we've seen enough examples of Tai Chi in the media and in life where we would be like, oh, like a form of martial art.
Yeah.
Not that whatsoever. He also has this one exercise where he'll take like a weighted, like he'll put a squat rack on his back, like a weighted kind of like situation. And he'll go into the splits, and then he will come out of the splits, moving his leg, like he will slide down into the splits, and then he will slide his legs back up.
Oh my God.
With a weighted squat rack on his shoulders.
Maybe he's a superhero.
He actually kind of has like, I mean, again, talk about like imagined vibes. It's like he is so obscure and so omnipresent in my gym schedule that I'm like, do other people see him? Or is this just my like sleep demon?
He's like Bernie.
Is he just my gym Bernie?
Interesting.
He's Bernie. Oh my God. What if it was Bernie 30 years ago? Like I'm just living in
a time warp.
Time warp of different versions of Bernie.
Oh my God, you went through a black hole.
I did. I pierced it. I pulled my face through on the other side.
Wow. Well, I love those people like in your routine who like you never know or talk to, but they're there.
And maybe that's what the message goes out to, is just like the quirky consistencies of my life. Like that man will always be there. He has a huge tattoo of what I imagine is the Catan symbol on his bicep.
Could be worse.
Could be so much worse. And yeah, I'm just like, whatever it is that you're training for, I hope it goes well, brother.
It sounds like he's just kind of training to be his best self.
And he looks good.
Yeah,
like you
incredible.
Don't fall in and out of the splits with like a 200-pound rack behind you if you're not keeping it extremely tight.
My friend who passed away a couple years ago, her ex-boyfriend does this like one particular exercise with like a giant pole.
Oh.
Like a heavy weighted like pole.
Yeah.
And he like kind of like nunchuck sort of vibes. Like he just waves it around and walks around like the park with it.
Whoa.
And then he sometimes will do it at the gym, and he like posts videos of him doing it at the gym. And I'm like, that's an interesting.
Was he like a javelin? Like, did he throw javelin or something?
I don't know. He's just a guy who's throwing
likes doing things around. I will say that wrist strength is the dark horse of what everyone should be working on.
Really?
Yeah, wrist and ankle.
Ankle, I can tell my ankles are going.
Oh, girl, same. I'm pronating.
What is that?
When your ankles kind of fall in
a
little bit.
Okay, we have to go.
Okay,
go let me quickly. My message in a bottle goes out to my therapist. I think everyone can tell that I need one. And I've been working with my therapist since 2018, so 7 years. Opa broccoli, and she has been through a lot with me. I kind of just wanted to shout her out because every time I go see her, I'm like, what'd I do? Like, and also you've seen me be so crazy, and you've seen me come into your office and say I'm fine and then cry literally harder than you've ever seen me cry 10 minutes later. So she deals with a lot from me in particular. And so I just like wanted to thank her, even though she'll never listen to this.
I also want to thank her because I feel like she's imparted so much wisdom to you that you've also imparted to me that I feel like I have therapy through osmosis because of the Miss Lovely Rebecca.
And I think that is the, like, if you can afford a good therapist, which most people can't, it's up to you then to be free therapist for other people.
Yes.
I think that's
it's
what
public
I
service.
like to do. Yeah.
Yeah. I also love that she, like, there has to be something about her energy that, like, allows you to get there if you walk into a room thinking, like, there's literally nothing.
Yeah.
And then to end it somewhere else. Like, there has to be an energy that she's giving to allow that to happen.
Yeah.
Like, there are certain rooms that I would walk into and, like, remain that closed off the entire time.
Yeah. And it's not the kind of therapist that, like, I thought I wanted. Like, when I first started therapy, I, like, wanted someone who was, like, warm and, like, not that she's not warm, but who, like, would always validate me and who would always make me feel good. And, like, she does not do that. Like, she validates me when I need it, but she also pushes back on me when I have, like, my crazy times. And I'm like, thank you.
Weren't you saying in an episode with Kayla that you'll, like, post about it on whatever and people will comment being like, okay, it sounds like you have an incredible
amazing
therapist.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
well, shout out the therapists who are helping us
through this crazy time.
This crazy time.
And speaking of therapy, we hope that you will receive some after listening to this.
Yeah. And, like, hey, if you listen to this, don't tell anyone about it. Like, just keep this one to yourself.
Yeah. Just go about your life.
A little keepsake just for you.
Look, eternal sunshine us. Just when people ask, say, I don't know. What is that? Who are those people?
I don't know those people.
That's been working really well for me.
Yeah. Same.
In my life. So anyway,
I love you.
Love you.
And I love you guys.
Love you guys.
And I'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.